Okay, 6 o'clock. Let us begin. Um, Roll call
Chair Belsky is excused. Don Franco,
here.
Keith Gray,
Here.
Felix Garcia.
Here.
Frederick Bookhouse.
Here.
Aaron Carroll.
Here.
And John Morris.
Here. Okay, thank you. All right, next, are there any citizen comments? Do we have any citizen comments? Doesn't look like it, so citizens' comments are closed. Thank you. I don't have anything else to say other than Supervisor Belsky called in this afternoon, called me, and she's still not doing well, so that's why I'm here chairing the committee tonight. Any comments by any of the supervisors? Anything you want to say or updates on anything? No? Melanie, right? Do you have anything to add? No, you're good? All right, well, let's move on then. Approval of the minutes from the March 5th meeting. Did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes? Any corrections, additions, anything like that? Motion to approve. Okay, motion to approve. Supervisor Gray and Carroll, second by Supervisor Carroll. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. The minutes are approved from March 5th. All right, tonight we have 3 resolutions that we need to address. The first one is to approve Shane Hollerick to serve on the Kenosha County Local Emergency Planning Commission. Is Mr. Hollerick here? Or?
He is here.
Okay, you can have a seat, sir.
All right.
In case anyone has any questions for you. Okay, all right.
Good evening. Sergeant Chris Hanna, Kenosha County Emergency Management. I bring forth the resolution to approve the appointment of Shane Holrich to serve on the Kenosha County Local Emergency Planning Committee under Group 5 Africa Facilities. This will be a 3-year term that will expire in April of 2028 or until a successor is appointed. Mr. Holrich comes with us from one of our reporting facilities here in Kenosha County for hazardous chemicals, Payne and Dolan. He's been a community member since 2019 and has served on multiple other boards in his professional role within the city of Kenosha. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I just have one quick one. I noticed that you put, yes, you have done business with Kenosha County. And I read your personal statement and it's not clear to me that you, in fact, maybe you're interpreting business in a different way than I am. You've served on City of Kenosha's governance as a member of the Zoning Board and Appeals and the Housing Appeals Board, correct?
Yes.
And you've also a president of the Tri-County Contractors Association. Okay, so my understanding with if you have done business means some sort of financial contract with them. I don't think you have, right?
I haven't personally. I put it on there just because Payne and Dolan has the company that my employer. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear in there.
Okay, that you served with the county. Okay, but there's no
personal business from.
Just wanted to make sure that was clear because when you wrote that, I was
Yeah.
it wasn't clear to me that you in fact do have conflict of interest. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any questions or comments for Mr. Holrich?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. We have a first by Supervisor Morrissey. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Youth and governance?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion is approved. Your next step will be the county where you'll go before a vote for the county.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
you. And your willingness to serve. Okay. Next, resolution to approve the 2025 Wisconsin Victims Witness Program grant. Is anyone speaking to this or no?
You guys need me to speak?
Not that, I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to, or you don't have to, but do we have any questions about this particular grant? This is a $1,000 grant. Looks pretty straightforward. But since you're here, go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, if you have any questions, that's why I showed up. I know that.
I appreciate that.
But,
Yeah,
I mean, it's a $1,000 grant, so it's not coming from the county budget or anyone else.
yeah, it's not gonna have any impact on the budget. itself.
It's for furniture, right? I move to approve.
Yeah, it's for furniture. Is that what the purpose is?
It's for the furniture in the basement and of the courthouse. So when we have like mostly like children's or individuals who are testifying that are victims, that's usually where we have them is in our victim witness office and at the courthouse. So the furniture there needs updating. So that's basically where the grant is going.
Okay. Very good. Any further questions? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Sorry.
That's all right.
First by Supervisor Morrissey, second by Supervisor Gray. Youth and Governance?
Aye.
Committee?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Next is the resolution to approve the regular cabaret license, and this is for Wilmot Mountain. All right. Okay, is anyone speaking to this? Yes, hi,
Evening,
hi.
Lieutenant Joe Zarletti, the Kenosha Sheriff's Office. Here to present that, resolution for the regular cabaret license for Wilmot Mountain. Sheriff's Office has no, opposition to the resolution. And then doing a, search for calls for service. We have no calls that, are anything pertaining to issues or problems with the establishment under the temporary,
Probationary license.
I'm sorry, excuse me, that's probationary license.
All right, any questions? Yes, Supervisor Morrissey.
It's not necessarily related to the cabaret, but there were a lot of 911, either investigations or something. Is this 911 hangups or just, is that where you guys going out there checking?
Yeah,
It's concerning. It seemed like there was an awful lot of calls out there for 911.
I think it's pretty common out there with people putting them
Just
in big
hang
jackets and stuff like that. Most of them are listed here as pocket tiles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Would the incidents be separated? Because there are, there is the establishment there, which is Walt's Tavern or whatever, the premise of the liquor license versus the premise of the entire facility. So these are probably calls for the entire facility, right? So skiers, whatever else, not necessarily just for this establishment.
Correct.
So, yeah. That would make a lot more sense than just people that are visiting the bar.
Pretty much we just have, thefts of skis complaints.
Right, right, or injuries.
Yes, yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve
Second.
by Supervisor Carroll, second by Supervisor Morrissey. Youth and Governance?
Aye.
Committee?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sheriff Office updates? Is that,
Sheriff, so I'm Captain Seaburn, I'm the only one here for command staff. Sheriff didn't have anything prepared. I don't know if
Okay.
there's any questions that I can answer or bring it back.
well, you might, since we're here, if there's any questions, give the opportunity of the committee to ask any questions. Do we have any questions? For the, regard to the
So-
Sheriff's Department?
From what I understand, I think Supervisor Belsky or Chair Belsky was asking for kind of an updated, like a monthly report. And similar to what happens with the Department of Public Works, where here's the status of these items and here's kind of the updates. And then that way we only really need to discuss the changes from that report. So is the intention to provide that at some point or?
I'm not sure what's in that report. I know there was the statistical report that was generated by our analysts that I think you all should be getting. Yeah, I received. So I'm not sure what that report would be.
Okay, I guess my understanding was that it would just, it hits the high points of the bullet points that are
Okay.
here. And if there's, kind of provide an update on a month-to-month basis, and then if there's any changes, we can talk about it at the meeting here.
Yeah.
I thought that's a good format at the Public Works that basically, so then you don't have to spend time in the meeting rehashing stuff and, dealing with any, stuff that just seems mundane and redundant. So.
Yeah.
I thought that was what her request was.
Yeah, I thought so too. Well, are there any, I'm just looking at the agenda here, any updates, anything new in regard to law enforcement corrections, community programs?
I mean, we continue to, we're in a state of constant hiring and training. That's still going. Yesterday, we had deputy sheriff interviews. 4 candidates there, well, actually 5, one other withdrew, but we did pass through 4 candidates for conditional offers. Doing correctional officer interviews this week, actually today. Admission really specialist interviews tomorrow, so we're still, it's a constant state of interviews and hiring. So, and we have 3 new correction officers stated to start next week. So yeah, that's what we're, the mains for those as far as that.
What's the status of corrections? How are we doing?
We're still at the overhire mark, but we're trying to maintain that 10 overhires too, and that's
Because of
the turnover. So that's what we're still trying to maintain. So for April, it's 3. We're at 3 hires, so hopefully it kind of slows down. Like I said, in March, it was 10 to meet that 10 overhire. So, okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Supervisor.
So one of the other big items that I think we've been concerned with from the last, 8 months or so is the report and status of the contracts that we have between the sheriff's department and the villages in the community or the townships of, calls for service, overtime, things like that. Last I recall is that, we changed the call signs on the radios from the badge numbers to the cars, so that way we can track on what's going on there, and just curious on an update for that of, call levels, calls of service, are we exceeding what we've obligated to in our contracts, and are we being reimbursed for that, and just trying to understand how that's all working out.
I know Captain Clickhammer is tracking that closely, so I'll relay and make sure he gets an update on that.
Okay.
Emergency response, I got.
I don't think we have any updates on that. I look on the other list, training and policies, there is, some of your constituents may feel some complaints. We did recently change the razor policy in the jail, so we've got some complaints from the outside even that there's a lot more restrictions on who can get a razor when they're in custody because of those challenges of giving inmates razors with razor blades in them. So it's still in there if they want to shave for a jury trial, for a medical reason, a religious tenant, that kind of thing would still be allowed and would be more supervised, but just giving inmates razors, that's not happening anymore. Right. So that's a recent policy change. So with any kind of change, there's a little bit of pushback, and we have even fielded calls from the outside complaining that it's inhumane not to allow razors. Well, it went through administration, it went through legal, went through state DOC rules. And it is the way that is more becoming in corrections, I think, throughout the state. There's only a few jails that are still giving out razors. So we made that change, and it was actually last Friday. So
Did we have some incidents?
we did. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any training or policy new?
That's the only policy thing. We're still doing, the training division's up and running, pushing out trainings to the roll calls. So we're moving forward with that. And the policies, I think the only one that is the one I just brought up is the policy change.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody comes to mind?
Did the sheriff's department get a new badge or a logo?
It should be, I don't know if it was pushed out. I think it's on some of our media releases and stuff like that. I know the sheriff is wearing it. It's still being, I think the sheriff and I think maybe the sergeant that does all equipment has the new clothing with that patch on it. So it's still being, there's only.
I seen that on social media and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so yeah, that would be, I guess, our new badge, or patch.
Badge.
Anything else? Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I'll pass along those items.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I don't know. I think we're good to go. We're ready to adjourn. I have your motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Okay. First by Supervisor Gray. Who wants to get the second?
Feel excited, I think.
I'm gonna actually oppose to adjournment. I'm gonna vote nay, so.
Okay, I'll give it to Supervisor Brookhouse then. Second by Supervisor Brookhouse. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.